Zach, you mentioned you went to Kubert school, right?
I did.
Yeah, what year were you there? Because I also attended for 1 year. I got my 1 year certificate.
I attended about my graduating year was the year COVID hit.
Oh,
So
okay, so it's
I'd say
recent.
2017 was probably the year I entered in.
Okay. And did you only do 1 year?
Well, no, I survived.
You did all
So
3?
I
Awesome.
survived. I'm a survivor.
Wow, dude. How God, I did my 1 year back in like 95. So like,
You were in the golden years because
yeah, way back when.
I'm not knocking the place. I gotta live. I love. It's a love hate relationship I have with it. But if I had a chance to relive those moments, I'd do it in a heartbeat. It's just I was my year was during the transition. So when I came in, things were kind of like rocky. Second year, still, we were losing certain things every year that I kept
Transition,
advancing.
you mean like when they moved the school to a different building or
No,
something,
new
right?
owner.
Oh, new owner.
Yeah,
Oh,
Anthony Marquez, who used to be the editor at Dynamite Comics, stepped in because he used to be a Kubert school student back in the day. He stepped in and he pretty much saved the school. Its reputation is starting to, you know, be back to what it was once again. He's trying to revive it because it's stagnated for so long.
oh,
So,
interesting. Yeah. So I didn't realize it started to go downhill once Joe died. Is that what happened?
ah, fuck it, yeah. Yeah, you could definitely tell that there it was certain things about it that was being ignored. Certain thing, being in the
Interesting.
lifestyle at the school, and then some things were just kind of it was like a repetitional thing. Like it was just like following that pattern that was already there, and the comic art industry has always been improving. It has always been, surpassing certain things, and we were just falling behind. And the school needed to get with the program, and it wasn't. So
Yeah.
Anthony knew that, like we all did, and he stepped in. He saved it. So the Cooper School is going to be back on the map, like even higher, I believe,
That's
in
good.
its reputation. So
Interesting. Yeah, because
kudos points to him.
I haven't like looked back on it much since I was there. And yeah, I know there's some Facebook groups about it and things like that. But back in the day when I was there, the exciting thing about the school was like Joe Kubert did like his whole like we had. I remember the first day I went, it was like a Joe Kubert like was on the stage, like it was like an assembly talking to the whole school. Like when you had those in high school,
Yep.
except
Oh,
it
they
was like
knocked that part
what
down. That because that
but
was at the new school, right? Not.
this was the old school when it was like inside of
Yep.
an old this was inside an old high school or something, and they
Yep.
only
No,
used half
that's
of
where
the
it's still at.
school. Oh, is it
Yeah,
really?
they
Did they
knocked
take
that.
it over?
So they Cooper School bought that's its location where it has been. But that gymnasium auditorium part, they knocked that down. There's a Walgreens
Oh,
in there.
interesting.
Yeah.
There's a Walgreens there now.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
so
wow.
the school's there, but the extension to that got knocked out completely. So there that parking lot is where the Walgreens is. But
Oh, wow.
um
Yeah. Wow. I gotta
yeah,
go down there sometime and see what it looks like now.
a
But
lot has
yeah, like
changed, man.
back in the day, like we'd see Joe around the school all the time, and he was still teaching at the time. And then you would go to the store, like the school supply store to get like pencils and pads and everything. And right next to that store was Andy and Adam Kubert's studio. So you'd walk by sometimes and they'd be in there drawing X-Men because I think they were on the X-Men at the time. And it was just like surreal, being like,
In
a
that
kid trying to
environment.
break into comics and stuff.
Yep.
And the other thing notable that I liked about the school that was interesting was it had that reputation that you talked about as being the only school like it in the world. So in my class alone, I had a kid from Spain, I had a kid from Ireland in my class.
Yep.
Everybody in my class was from all over the place. Like, barely anybody from like Massachusetts. I was like basically the only one from Massachusetts. and then everybody else was from somewhere in the United States or overseas and or other countries, which was kind of interesting. And it was always kind of cool to see how all the how they approached comic art. It was
Oh
way
yeah,
different from like I was, and you could
it's
just see the
intimidating.
different levels of skill there. Like I was somewhere in the middle, but there was people that were worse than me and people way better than me, so it
Oh,
was like
it was definitely intimidating. Like
it is.
I always that whole act of comparing yourself. You had to just cut that shit out and just like
Yeah, you
focus
kind of
on
just
yourself.
did your thing and then
Yeah,
try to like turn your assignments in.
I
And the
will
way
say it definitely brings out the weirdos, like the weird people that like, because just like damn man, the art industry, really they all get the weird people from like everywhere. It just attracts that. So
oh
I was
yeah,
like,
I
definitely.
think creativity and being eccentric go hand in hand. So
Oh,
oh yeah,
absolutely.
you're definitely going to find that people who are
yeah,
inspired or even creative geniuses in one hand are also a little loopy, a little
Oh
crazy,
yeah,
maybe
I
even
mean
a little unhinged.
there was some wackadoos when I was there too, so
dude, the
I
stories,
totally get
man.
that.
Dude,
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
I like the stories is just amazing. I was definitely like, well, I was one of those guys. I worked my ass off, dude, like on everything I was doing.
You
But
had
I
to,
was
yeah.
also like a party dude because I was like, I had to like get my mind off of this such excruciating stress I was going through. And
Mm.
believe it or not, I definitely set the record for so far in publishing a comic while being an attending student at the Kubert School
Oh,
to the
awesome.
caliber quality in the book that I made there. Because I congregated 23 Kubert School students, including myself, making my first comic.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
cool.
awesome. Yeah. It's funny, like I at the time I was doing my assignments, but also working part time. So I never had time to do anything outside of my like assignments. So congrats on that. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it was a tough school. It had a lot of work to do there.
Oh
It
yeah.
it's cool to hear your different experiences, given that you attended so long ago, Keith, and Zach, you're a more recent attendee, and to hear some of the differences and the similarities between the two. And I think some of that in between also shows the change in the industry itself,
Oh yeah.
comics and art and things of that
Mhm.
nature.
Yo,
Oh,
absolutely.
definitely.
Zach, did you have anybody that was from your class that went on to work for Marvel or DC?
Like, um, really got to think about it. Not in my actual graduating class. Like I can so basically there's a dude named Peter Clinton. He's been working he's doing a lot of work for Silverline Comics, Roland Man.
Okay.
He's done a lot of stuff for him. Then Anand Ramcharan has worked for Marvel. He's done and he's also I don't know what company he works for, but he does some of the most gorgeous stuff I've ever seen.
That's
And
awesome.
he's killing it in the game.